Take a look at that. Welcome everybody. Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV. You'll never guess where I'm at today, taking a look at this new side patio paradigm. They're not the first, obviously, to come out with a side patio RV. I've seen like Montana's made a stab at this. Sabre has some stuff. There's a couple brands that have a thing like this. And it's a departure from the traditional big fifth wheel side patio. Historically, your side patios were basically a toy hauler ramp gate off the side of the RV. This isn't quite as long, it's not quite as deep, but that also means it doesn't eat up near as much of your campsite, but it's also effortless. It's a push button power drop side patio. The thing is, the way that they have accomplished this here, first of all, it's one of the most detailed side patios I've seen. You've got a pull-out cook station, so you have outdoor cooking, you have an outdoor drink fridge, you have a food truck pass-through window from the primary kitchen to the outside. But what I like about this is when the patio is deployed, you can still fully glass enclose the kitchen space. So it's not either open to the elements or fully enclosed. You can actually just have a door that you go in and out to the patio space. Not every manufacturer has quite done it that way. Additionally, even when the side patio is fully closed up, all that happens is you just end up with a big window overlooking your campsite, which does not break my heart whatsoever. And because they couldn't try to get cute and put a slide right there, it meant that you have a big chunk of uninterrupted solid surface kitchen counter prep space and a lot of storage. Actually, the kitchen is the most spacious feeling thing in this RV. And they even included a little hidden power drop televator in the overhead kitchen cabinetry to service the outside patio space. It's a wild concept. And so far, all we've talked about is the patio. We haven't even talked about anything else. This is a cool camper. Now, one of the challenges I'm having is this RV is so darn big, and it can almost be used in so many different ways that I don't know how to go about it. It's a crazy, different kind of floor plan. And I mean, it's big. Like, this is one gigantic mega slide from the fridge all the way down past the stove, the microwave, the dining, and the pantrytainment, all one mega hydraulic rack and pinion slide. And for that kind of weight, that's the only system that I would personally want to see on it, just because it's one of the only systems that's made to handle that kind of weight capacity. But the thing is, this has perhaps one of the best kitchens, but it's a weird walk-through middle kitchen that a lot of people don't expect. But one of the main focal points, I mean, it's literally the model number, the SP, the side patio, is this thing over here. You might notice there's a bit of a hard black line, but what's kind of cool is the top half of the patio is actually still just a window. So you still get to enjoy some of the campsite of this RV. But then this opens up, and that's where I think this RV really starts to shine. You push a button, you get this drop patio space, you get expanded views, but you still have full enclosure. And notice how this is still tinted. Like, you can see this versus to the right of it, how it's wide open. That's, by the way, over there is the, I believe the Alliance drainage pond. We have a tiny little pond like that outside my home store, and a couple of the guys actually stocked it with fish. So now it actually really does have fish in it. The thing is, a lot of brands have had a side patio, and this is basically all. It just opens up and it's a patio, and maybe you put chairs on it. They did so much more with this. And I don't use fisheye wide angle lens, so I'm actually leaning over the railing here, but, you know, not the smartest thing I've ever done, but I never claimed to be super smart. What's really cool about this, you have this little flip up kind of dining bar, serving bar down below here. You have your outdoor speaker controls. You have some power outlets for whatever you want to power up. Little outdoor drink fridge. Then you have this entire like slide open griddle storage combo. And there's some decent storage in this. Now, the thing is, this slides in and out of the RV. It's basically on a giant runner system. The right-hand storage compartment you can actually still access from the inside of the RV if the entire thing is loaded up. And it kind of made me wonder if that wouldn't work really well for like a wastebasket spot, so you have an indoor-outdoor wastebasket. But speaking of indoor-outdoor, you can have a full-on indoor-outdoor taco truck serving station situation going on right here. This to me would be very cool. Have a couple small little stools or something like that sitting here on a decent day, chit-chatting inside and out. And in case you're wondering, like, yeah, if you also have the day-night blackout section, but the night section that we're looking at here has a full-on radiant barrier on it, so that if you are getting cooked by screaming sunshine, you can block all that out and keep a huge amount of that heat out of here. Now, this actually has its own little dedicated patio entertainment system. There's another speaker over on the left-hand side there. But again, if you want to, you can fully close everything off. And everybody knows the party ends in the kitchen. So it's kind of cool that the kitchen's sort of the function, flow, and go space of this. We come in that patio door. We've got that 20 cubic foot, 12-volt fridge right there. We've got a large residential size microwave and oven combo. And this is a just gigantic floor flush carpetless slide here. You'll find solid surface countertops all around this and just lots of prep space. Like, you have your dedicated cooking space, you have your dedicated prep space right here. And because it's this big L shape, it just creates a huge amount of cabinet capacity and countertop area. So first of all, down here, massive space if you want some like real residential garbage can sized stuff. But they had this vertical toothpick kind of space that was difficult to utilize. So they threw some shelves on it and opened it up so that it came out to you. Now this right here looks like a giant cabinet, but it's not. You got to remember that there's the fridge outdoors. And remember, this is part of that slide open griddle bar area out there. So, you know, you can't load other stuff in there. Now, when we look up top, it's very easy to see a couple large cabinets, but you see one right there that is partially paneled off. Well, there's a very good reason for that. That is a power drop patio televator. So if you do have this exterior food truck window open, you can actually have outdoor entertainment. Now, I asked the question if it could turn and pivot, and it cannot. And it looks like somebody else tried that and has twisted it. So don't do that. But I don't know. Part of me thought, man, it would be kind of cool if it dropped down. And even though I have this giant Jumbotron over the back end here, having a second TV, I don't know, facing another sofa, it's super not necessary, but would be, I don't know, maybe kind of cool. Well, hello, Mr. Motorcycle. We've got a Valor toy hauler for him, perhaps. Now down here, the bottom right, kind of half covered by that door, is your converter fuse box. That would be the ideal spot where you could, you know, have your, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I've been interrupted a few times and I'm distracted by a couple things. So the motorcycle is now throwing me off. Like, people don't realize, you know, making all this video stuff, there's kind of just like a mental flow that goes with it. When you get interrupted, that's when your brain goes, nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. Anyway, what I was getting at is your fuse box is easy access down there, and there's no slides that are going to get in its way. This is a 20 cubic foot compressor fridge, I believe, with ice maker in one of those chests, by the way. And I really like, we're still looking at kitchen storage. We haven't even gotten to the living room yet. So far, we've only gotten to the kitchen and the patio. This RV is huge. Now, remember, this is all one giant slide, hydraulic rack and pinion, and it is fairly shallow, if you notice. It's not like one of the big 3-foot deep ones. Right here, in the kind of, like, what's cool about this RV is that it has a defined kitchen and a defined living room, but the dining in the middle kind of acts as a little bit of a connector. Now, this is one of those pivoting dining tables, so depending on your campsite, if you want it to be just a couple's arrangement that faces out the window, albeit on the poop side of the camper, you can do that. It can rotate 90 degrees. I'll demonstrate that for you in a little bit here. Up top, we've got, I tell you what, I turned that fan off just because sometimes it creates a pseudo flickering effect on screen. And I know that we have some viewers who are very photosensitive, including the guy who edits these videos. So I try not to cause people to stroke out. And I say that with zero jest. That's a very real thing that I don't want to have happen to people. But overall, like, it's about 80 degrees today. So it's not scorching hot. we have no air conditioners running. We just have a couple windows open and a couple of these big fans running, and it's surprisingly like I'm not sweating. I could be a little cooler and feel fine about it, but it's not terrible. Now, I have been advised this will have stools, but they currently do not have a stool sample to give you. And that's a phrase that I enjoy saying and don't get the opportunity to do very much. This is, by the way, a power love seat. So power recliner love seat with just maximum window surround coverage. Plus, this thing's so darn tall, they said, let's just go ahead and throw some crazy tall storage in there as well. And speaking of which, you have storage not just above the sofa, but also on both sides of the sofa. Notice over there on the left-hand side, I have that flipped up. I just have a bunch of cushions and stuff piled up over in the right. This is also a wider sofa. So this is like a 3-adult seater, which normally in a standard body camper, you have either a big sofa or side stands. And this one gives you because of the wider body size. The TV can pivot around if you want like a rear conversation corner, but more than that, this also has that strut hold open mega pantry tainment center. Now, normally in a lot of their models, like these black racks right here, they're going to be used as like spice racks and whatnot. But because we already have so much dedicated kitchen storage, I feel like in this model, the space would work differently. Like over here, they have this tall vertical open space. It's not intended to be like a closet. It's there in case you want to like plug in a rechargeable stick vac, which conveniently enough, they leave you a power outlet for. This feels to me like almost a utility closet, which gives this RV so much more of a home style feel to me. And as mentioned, this table can turn. You have to remember, you really want to turn it back into desk mode when you close this, because I think the table and the countertop will collide with one another. If not, it's going to be way too close for my personal comfort. The other thing that I kind of thought about in this camper, this could all mostly, other than the table, kind of go away. And I looked at this and I'm like, in a floor plan like this, that's begging to be a little pooch palace. That is exactly where I would probably put my pet dishes, my little dog bed, stuff like that. I don't know why we have him a dog bed. All he does is ever lay on our lap or in bed with us, which I'm okay with. I love the little fluff ball. Plus we have a cat and he basically does the same now, but I'm okay with that. It means that they don't hate us. And I mean, I'm sure you probably connected these dots, but the entertainment setup in this is just, it's great. They did a good job. Now, like all your big paradigms, this does have a factory standard triple air system. There actually is a dedicated air conditioner right above me. You'll see a second one over here. But if you're not familiar with these, they're non-ducted, and that seems odd to a lot of people, but you have two air conditioners putting all of their power directly in this huge, large cavity, which, to be fair, has a lot of windows and glass, which is like a thermal hole in the wall. Then you have a third air conditioner dedicated exclusively to the bedroom and bathroom upper deck. So you're getting maximum cooling efficiency in every area. It's like a 40,000 BTU cooling system. Now, your upper deck of this is very much like a lot of your other paradigms. Like right here, we had solid surface counters. Oh, the way that step creaks below me reminds me of how much weight I need to lose. Meanwhile, over here on the left side of the screen, you can see some of the storage there below the countertop. I really appreciate that big tall door being actual storage. And this is like really good functional counter space. This is it's actually got a small tub section down there. It's a slightly, I think, recessed shower floor. So I think the shower floor in this big one-piece fiberglass shower is actually lower than the main floor, and that creates crazy awesome headroom up in the shower space right there. And you might have noticed it does have a folding seat. Those are really nice, if nothing else, just to be able to sling your leg up and shave your shins. Now, if we do some x-ray vision inside that cabinet there, that's just a nice linen space. We actually do have some speakers to enjoy some music jams while you're showering. Actually, I have a Bluetooth speaker in my home bathroom that I enjoy just relaxing a little bit while enjoying, getting cleaned up. It's just my little personal vibing unwind time. And that is also a soft close toilet lid, which is something I like because my wife installed those, or rather had them put in our house, and I've gotten used to them. And at least once a trip when my family goes on vacation somewhere, like if we're in a hotel, because I don't always exclusively go RVing, I'll forget and just kablam the the toilet lid, which is a great way to wake up everybody. Now, this is the optional, it might be, okay, you have a choice between an RV king bed and a 60 by 80 residential queen. What I do appreciate is they either way give you nice room to walk around the bed. And even with the optional king we're looking at, you still have, you know, miniature side stands with some outlets. Now, the thing is, I mentioned some kind of RV king bed. I think if you are willing to remove those side stands, which also means removing some of that wiring, I think you could probably squeeze a residential king in here. That's not common in the world of RVing. They have also redesigned their front closets through the entirety, essentially, of the Paradigm family. Taking a look up here, you know, you've got your kind of hanging storage rack all the way across. I kind of like those because they hold your stuff in place better and they have more anchor points into the ceiling structure. And then all this down here, is this... Okay, so this is dresser space, and if I'm not mistaken, that is too. All right, so, God bless, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to fling that shut so hard. That's why I don't open and close a lot of storage on camera. My apologies, everybody. So, adding some dresser space in there, which is never a bad thing. You're getting a look at me, obviously needing to go on Weight Watchers over here. But yeah, anyway, I've been talking about that for about 4 years. One of these days, I should actually do something. Maybe I'll join the GLP-1 train. I don't know, but I got to get my crap under control. Now, this dresser, you might have noticed, had a little shoe garage below. It does have a little flip-top storage, but I intentionally didn't do that because I like to share the positive with the negative. With the flip-top dresser tops, if you have stuff on it, you have to take all the stuff off. Not the end of the world, but a little annoying, I suppose. And this is their new setup for their stackable washer dryer. I think before they were set up to be like a side-by-side, but they decided apparently just to redesign and go traditional stackable. Now for road mode, the bedroom here, this is a Norco Exact slide system, which is one of the slides that typically you are able to occupy while it's retracted. I don't have Alliance's official statement on that. If you're curious, you might want to contact Alliance or give one of our folks a shout if that's a concern for you, and we can double check that for you. Some people care, some people don't. So I just kind of want to make you aware. But the bedroom, obviously the bathroom over here off the hallway, very accessible. What's cool about this model, because it only has one slide in the kitchen and no island, it is an awesome traveler's kitchen right here. We can get to basically everything, including the propane cooking appliances or potentially the microwave if you go with their more advanced solar package to get the more aggressive inverter kind of situation there, or add your own kind of stuff. The thing is, technically, I think you could probably tiptoe through the tulips and get your way through here. I don't know what you're going to gain from it, but for an RV this size, the travel accessibility of this is actually really good. Oh, real quick note. Yeah, obviously for traveling, you're going to want to close the patio. I didn't do that. We already saw it closed earlier. I think you get the idea. But if I don't say something, there's going to be a lawyer. Now, this RV is a lot of different things, but a small little ultralight is not one of them. If I'm doing the math right, like we have an 18,000 pound maximum GVW, some pretty hefty hitch weight, and I believe about 24-ish 100 pounds of cargo capacity, give or take. You're gonna want a big truck to handle this thing. When you're in a big Paradigm like this, you're pretty much kind of in like dually country, so keep that in mind. Now, what's kind of awesome here, as compared to the traditional toy hauler side patios, which when they're closed, you lose like visuals of the whole campsite of your RV, whereas this one just closes up and becomes a window. It's might as well just go ahead and demo that here. I'll have to go put all the kitchen stuff away, but it's not like it's hard, and closing the sucker is literally just a push of a button. So here's a look at me breaking a sweat closing this thing up, he says very facetiously. You literally just push a button and there you go. But once again, what's really cool about it is when it's closed up, it just creates a giant panoramic campside window. Now that doesn't open for airflow, keep in mind, but your main living room area definitely has lots of air. Working our way down here, getting that patio out of the way, actually unintentionally created some cool opportunities to look at the tire and suspension package they have here. So on the way down, you might notice this landing gear leg. This is a 6-point hydraulic auto leveling. And this is the Touring Coil Suspension System, the TCS. It is a fantastic system that transfers a significantly reduced amount of stress into the chassis of the RV, which means your chassis, your cabinetry, your floor, every nut, bolt, widget, whiz, bang, and fastener has less stress applied to it. Now, a lot of people are mistakenly referring to this as an independent suspension system. You might have noticed it still has an axle. It's not an independent system, but it works very, very nicely. I kind of like that. All closed up, like, I could see that still working, you know, like that's not bad. Now, all these normal airflow windows, open for airflow as the name kind of implies. Your spare tire and your sewer hose tube, they are both belly mounted. On the back here, on the bottom, you have yourself your 3,000-pound, just say towing package, the 4-way wiring harness, the 300-pound vertical accessory limit hitch with a 3,000-pound tow limit, the safety chain hooks. Something I am not seeing, which leaves me very confused, and it may purely be a symptom of this is perhaps some kind of proto status. I'm not sure. There's no ladder on it. And that is something that they have always done. So I'm going to try to investigate to see if that was some sort of oversight or what the case may be. It just seems odd that they would not include one of those. Now, something I was headhunting for was with the position of the kitchen versus the bathroom, I didn't know how they were going to handle the plumbing. Thankfully, it looks like they did combine everything to a single consolidated sewer outlet. So that's a nice convenient feature. Alliance is one of the few builders sticking with gas and electric water heaters. A lot of brands have gone away from them to the on-demand water heater. Something I learned, I think the reason a lot of brands have gone to it is probably for cost savings, because the gas and electric is a more expensive unit and every manufacturer is trying to chase a price tag right now. So if two manufacturers can say we both have a water heater, but one's less expensive, they feel like more of them will sell by comparison. That's obviously not the route Alliance is going here. They have adopted the power dump valves that you see over here. Now you see two gray tanks. You have bathroom gray, kitchen gray, and then bathroom black, or I don't know which one's which, kitchen or bathroom, but you get the idea. You also, of course, have your water filtration system and your whole water manifold control system right here. Additionally, they were one of the very first towable builders, although a ton of them are doing it now, to give you easy access into, historically, this area was in the industry tongue-in-cheek known as the rat's nest, but overall, I don't think it's terrible in here. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff all going on, but it's not the dirtiest, most chaotic, disorganized thing I think I've ever seen. Now, don't do what I just did. Thankfully, I caught myself right before I really clocked my head, but I bonked my head on the bottom of that slide. Let's talk slides. Your lower deck slides are an electric over hydraulic rack and pinion. That bedroom slide is a Norco Exact slide, which is a cable slide system, but there's Exact slide and Accu slide. Most people will say they prefer Exact slide over Accu slide, primarily for reliability reasons. Now we are 101-inch wide body, so 8'5" wide. Along with the better suspension package, they've also got this paired up with that Helix pin box system, which a lot of your higher level brands seem to be going to, because once again, like the suspension, it transfers a lot less stress into the body of the RV. Now, because they have a drop frame, they had the ability here to kind of split level this. Now, this cavity, you see the perforated punch outs in the bottom of that? This is the default arrangement right here. You can get it generator prepped, or you can get a full generator install. These also by default, what is it? Is it 370 watts? We'll put some information on screen for you, giving you the standard versus the optional solar packages and the hardware associated with them. So there you go. What do you think, everybody? Leave me a note. What do you like? What do you dislike? Do you think this side patio concept has legs, or is this one of those things that the industry is going to try and fizzle out? I feel like a couple manufacturers are going to keep poking at this, and I feel like it's really starting to get there. This is kind of a cool concept. Again, the big difference for me is when the patio is not open, it's still a window, whereas the historical versions just were not. But I already talked about that. I'm repeating myself. Take a look at the links in the video description if you want to check pricing and availability. And assuming I remember, if you're like, yeah, I like the look of this, but I don't need that patio thing, or can I get something like this smaller? Well, yeah, this is the only one that they currently have with the side patio outside of the Valor fifth wheel toy haulers at Alliance. But there's plenty of other paradigms out there. If I remember, I'll try to dig up links to a bunch of those different things. Check the video description, and we'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.